back to Local Decision 2020. I'm Rusty Ray. We're joined today by candidate for Spring Lake Park Mayor. It's Bob White. Bob, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
No stranger to city politics in Spring Lake Park, am I right?
That is correct.
And sometime on city council through an appointment several years ago. Also some experience with planning and zoning.
Correct.
And that would tend to lend itself towards looking to continue that, or in this case, looking for a move up, as it were, to mayor.
Yes. Back then when I was appointed, I thought the city looked pretty good and let somebody else do it. And I was busy, so it worked out. Now I've got some concerns and I thought, well, with what I've learned in the past, maybe I should run for mayor. And I think I have a better understanding of city government, mayor, what everyone does, and I'd like to try it.
Let's talk about those concerns. Are there things specifically that you see you would like to see done differently, or are there directions that the city could go that you feel like you could help with?
I think I've seen some things within the city council that, there's been one member that's been kind of alienated. I don't know the whole story, but I'd like to bring some more work together with a lot of the staff and try and better ourselves that way.
Improve relations among the council?
Correct. Yep.
Among the city council?
Correct.
Okay. And so the mayor, you feel like the mayor's position could be a great way to help accomplish that?
I don't know that it's the mayor itself. I don't know if it's hard to say. You watch the meetings. I watch it on your channel, and I don't know.
Okay.
I wish I could tell you.
Okay.
I know he's been around for a long, long time, and I think that maybe it's time for a change.
Okay. Okay. With your experience both on the planning and zoning and with the city so far, and then your background, construction is your business, is your trade. Are there redevelopment opportunities? Certainly Spring Lake Park is nearly fully built out, but there are always different redevelopment ideas. Something becomes empty or something becomes obsolete or whatever the case may be. We're seeing that. Obviously HyVee is new. We're seeing some other things like that. Are there more opportunities for the city?
Well, I think there is. There always will be. Just the size of them might not be what we've had lately because we're running out of land. I think there's been some good stuff, some bad stuff. I'm not a fond believer in tax increment financing. I'm not a firm believer in big. I'd rather, we're small, we're 7,000 people. I kind of wonder how much we can afford. I worry about the future right now. Maybe we're fine, but if property values go down, what's going to happen to the tax base? A lot of question marks that until you get in City Hall and really look at everything, I don't know. All we see every year is a pie chart. I think there's more to it than that. Our housing stock, I'd love to do something that the people want to reinvest in the city. They feel good about improving their homes or keeping them nice. The school district has done a lot with that. People want to be in the Spring Lake Park School District, so I think it's worthy of improving our housing stock. And if the future development is smaller sections of it, I'm sure there'll probably be houses that'll be, as property values or property costs become more and more, there'll probably be houses that'll be tore down and new houses built. And I guess the future will tell us that, what the economy does, where land prices go. A lot of question marks still. But I'm in favor of it, keeping the housing stock in good shape.
Okay. What kind of conversations are you having given COVID and some people don't want to go door to door, some people don't want to go door to door, some people won't answer the door, but are you able to have any kind of dialogue with voters and kind of getting your ideas and more importantly, perhaps hearing their ideas right now?
I've just started. I just started putting signs up. I'm not a politician, and it kind of bothers me that people start plopping signs in yards 2 months before the election. I should have probably started sooner, but I didn't. I have talked to certain people. You know, I probably talked to 100, but I haven't really gone door to door yet. I plan on doing that starting shortly. I have reservations about it with the COVID.
Sure.
How many people? I'll wear a mask. I'll respect their rights. I wear the mask a lot of times. If they want to talk, if they want information, fine, I'll sit and talk. I love to talk. If they just want a brochure, I'll hand them a brochure. But I've come to the conclusion I have to go door to door, but I struggle with it.
Sure.
I don't know. I hope I make the right decision.
I got you. I got you. Speaking of decisions, the city, do you feel like the city has had to put anything on hold or has changed negatively, your opinion I'm asking, the way it's done things because of COVID? Certainly there's immediate needs and have to be addressed, and things were shut down. Businesses have been able to get some assistance with some of that federal CARES money that came through the cities.
Sure.
But has the city doing its business, do you feel like it's had to put anything off because of COVID?
Boy, I haven't seen it.
Okay.
I'm sure there is going to be some stuff that's going to show up sooner or later, but no, I have not seen it. I know, you know, I know a lot of businesses are struggling, and I know cities have done different things. I don't know if we're financially able to or not, but I know like some of the restaurants, liquor store, you know, that have liquor license and stuff, if they weren't open for 2 months, they prorated their liquor license. I think that's a great way to help a business along. They're not using their license. They're, you know, and I hate to see the city lose money on the other hand. So I'd have to know how the city's sitting, what kind of projections there are. Can we afford to do that? You know, we have kind of one that we own Sunsets Bar and Grill, and I know they were granted some concessions on rent, and I don't think that's quite right when we have other businesses in the city that don't get in. Their landlords might give them something, maybe. I know not too many have. And the other thing is, you know, we got like Kraus Harding and VFW in there that's given 10 times to the city of Spring Lake Park what Sunsets has. So I find a little bit of conflict of interest there. Something I don't like that I'd like to address if I become mayor. I don't know that that's right, but it's not solely up to me, it's up to the council. I sure push my ideas and thoughts, but ultimately it lies with us as a group.
The city worked with HyVee to come in there. HyVee slowed things way down, still not open yet. It's sitting there looking like it should be open. There are reasons that the company finally revealed that it's not finished yet and it's working on its design. But once it's open, or even now, are there ways the city can capitalize on having that brand name right there in the heart of Spring Lake Park? Maybe there are other things that could be developed around it. Do you think that the city has opportunities there?
Oh, I think there's a lot. HyVee's, honestly, I've only been to one once, but everybody has a positive spin on it. I haven't heard anything bad about HyVee. I think, yeah, sure, obviously Spring Lake Park, it's got to benefit us. There's no doubt whatsoever. I think they have the traffic situation around there taken care of, yet to be proven, but it looks good. And yeah, I think that was a real benefit for them. I do worry, and this is thinking way, way, way out ahead, but you know, there's a black box situation out there where we're getting different communities and stuff are getting these big box places, stores, buildings that nobody can rent out because someone's moved out, and to fill that space is tough. How stable is the grocery chain? You know, how long Cubs struggles, we've lost Rainbow, you know, that's the only thing I'd worry about. And I don't really think it's a big worry, but you wonder.
Sure, I can understand that.
Down the road.
Especially more people getting groceries just delivered to their house.
Thank you.
Is that what you're saying? That's one way that the market is changing, and so maybe that could affect a chain's ability to stay somewhere long term.
Correct.
And then you're left with an empty shell of a building.
And I'd like to think long term and short term, but other than that, HyVee is good. I don't know what's going on, why they haven't opened it. I haven't had the privilege of speaking with anyone, but I'm sure it had to do with times, money.
Well, the company blamed COVID, saying it had to slow things down, and certainly here in Blaine, right across the street from where we're located, we've been waiting on that
Waiting,
HyVee to even break ground, and so it's
And I think,
it's a slowdown, but again, everybody's dealing with some kind of slowdown.
and they've got one in Columbia Heights, I believe, some land designated for it, and I think they're waiting there. So yeah, I guess I'm not too worried about the waiting. It'll come.
Okay.
I got to believe they're the ones that are really losing the money. They're tied up, and the taxes, as far as I know, are still ticking. And
Sure, I see.
I think for Spring Lake Park's sitting pretty well.
In all your time in Spring Lake Park and living there, and of course doing business there and family there, do you feel like the identity of the city, small, close-knit, not a huge population because it's only a couple of square miles, but do you feel like the identity of Spring Lake Park has gone through any change in your time there that you can identify and can kind of point to the reasons why?
You know, I don't. I really don't. You know, there's some people who would say, a lot of times you have a hard time explaining, where's Spring Lake Park? I kind of like that, but you know, it is an identity thing that we have to kind of sometimes, we're between Blaine and Fridley. Okay, well, oh, okay. Or next to Coon Rapids or Mounds View. But anyhow, doesn't bother me. Maybe some people do. I like the quaintness of it. My kids went through Spring Lake Park high schools. My kids live in Spring Lake Park. My mother lived in Spring Lake Park in a senior building, Oak Crest. I think personally, I have no identity crisis. I think it's nice all our kids participate in sports through the years. I mean, I've gotten to know so many people. We're in a bigger city. I wouldn't know a tenth of them. Spring Lake Park, you can get to know a big bunch if you participate in anything because it is so small. I think that's a plus.
One segment of the population, just like every community, one segment of the population is those that rent where they live. The city has recently undertaken a study, or at least began a study of, there's a moratorium on allowing more rental properties. Some folks have shared concerns about congestion, probably parking, if you've got several grown-ups living in one house, that they're all renting from that, or something like that.
Correct.
So now the city's like, we need to look at this. We're going to pay a firm downtown to study this. Where do you fall on that? Do you think that they're taking appropriate steps? Do you think that there needs to be a little more, leniency might not be the right word, but there could be some more concessions to renters or rental properties?
I think, I went back, when I built a commercial building in Spring Lake Park, and I got an education in the commercial side, that if you owned your own building, it seemed to you kept it up better. If it was a big rental unit, it tended to slide. They just want to rent it, which I rent mine too, so I understand that. It's just, from my eyes, I've seen the user owners kept the property up nicer and paid more attention. That's commercial. I still believe that. I definitely think the commercial properties, we have to have some leniency, but just maybe show them that we're watching and this is what we expect and this is what you have to do. And if it's something that's not right, we'll change it. The residential, I've said from the start, back when I was on the zoning and planning and city council, it's something we really, 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 really have to watch. Somehow or another, and I know there's talk of this moratorium and things like that, and there has to be flexibility. There's going to be more and more people renting, from what I understand. And I think we have to take that into account, and we have to somehow or another adopt codes that it makes our city better with renters. Because there's nothing wrong with renters. People nowadays don't want to buy. I get it. But we can't let our property slide down. The yard's not being taken care of. It's called I'm not smart enough to know what it is, broken window syndrome. So if you have one house with a broken window, after 2-3 years, nobody's fixing their windows because why? Our property values are just sliding. One guy fixes up, puts an addition, and I've seen this happen. Pretty soon there's 2, 3, 4 additions, remodeling, new sidings. It is catchy too. So somehow or another we have to promote that.
Okay. Well, Bob White, thank you for being here today with us.
That's it?
Yeah, that's all we got. That's the time we have.
Thank you.